Welcome back to Smart Garden, fellow green thumbs. Today we're diving deep into one of gardening's most fascinating and practical topics: liquid plant nutrition through homemade garden teas. If you've ever wondered whether brewing your own plant fertilizers could transform your garden, you're in for a treat. We're putting 3 popular garden teas head-to-head in the ultimate brewing battle to determine which one deserves a permanent spot in your gardening arsenal. Picture this: 3 identical raised beds, each planted with the same variety of tomatoes, lettuce, and marigolds. Over the course of 8 weeks, we've been treating each bed with a different homemade tea while maintaining identical watering schedules and growing conditions. The results? Absolutely eye-opening and something every gardener needs to see to believe. Our contenders today represent 3 distinct approaches to liquid plant nutrition. First up is Compost tea, the sophisticated sibling of the group that's been gaining serious traction in organic gardening circles. This dark, earthy brew promises to deliver not just nutrients but an entire ecosystem of beneficial microorganisms that can transform your soil health from the ground up. Next, we have Manure tea, the traditional powerhouse that's been fueling gardens for centuries. This nitrogen-rich elixir represents old-school gardening wisdom, offering plants a concentrated dose of growth-promoting nutrients that can turn even the most lackluster vegetables into garden superstars. Finally, there's weed tea, the scrappy underdog that transforms your garden's unwanted visitors into liquid gold. This resourceful brew takes advantage of the nutrients that weeds have already extracted from your soil, creating a closed-loop system that's both economical and environmentally friendly. Creating exceptional compost tea begins with understanding that you're not just making fertilizer, you're cultivating a living ecosystem. The process starts with selecting high-quality, well-aged compost that's been properly decomposed for at least 6 months. This mature compost serves as the foundation for breeding beneficial bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that will become your plant's best friends. The brewing process requires a 5-gallon bucket filled with dechlorinated water, where you'll steep 2 to 3 cups of quality compost wrapped in cheesecloth or a fine mesh bag. The secret ingredient that separates good compost tea from great compost tea is unsulfured molasses. Just 1 tablespoon per gallon provides the sugar necessary to feed and multiply beneficial microbes during the brewing process. Aeration is absolutely crucial for compost tea success. Using an aquarium pump with air stones, you'll need to maintain continuous bubbling for 24 to 48 hours. This oxygenation prevents anaerobic conditions that could harbor harmful pathogens while encouraging the growth of beneficial aerobic microorganisms. The finished product should smell earthy and pleasant, never sour or putrid. Manure tea preparation requires a more cautious approach due to potential pathogen concerns, but when done correctly, it delivers unmatched nitrogen content for vigorous plant growth. The key is starting with well-aged manure that's been composted for at least 6 months to eliminate harmful bacteria and reduce the risk of burning plant roots. Using a ratio of 1 part aged manure to 5 parts water, you'll create a mixture that needs to steep for anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks, depending on your patience and the strength you're targeting. During this time, daily stirring helps break down organic matter and ensures even extraction of nutrients. The brewing container should be covered to prevent flies and debris, while allowing some airflow to prevent anaerobic conditions. The finished manure tea should be diluted to a light brown color similar to weak coffee before application. This dilution step is critical because concentrated manure tea can burn plant foliage and roots, potentially causing more harm than good. Always apply manure tea to soil rather than directly onto plant leaves to minimize any risk of contamination. Weed tea represents the ultimate in garden recycling, transforming problematic plants into valuable nutrition. The process begins with identifying and harvesting non-toxic weeds like dandelions, clover, chickweed, and plantain, plants that are actually nutrient powerhouses when properly processed. You'll want to chop your collected weeds into small pieces and pack them into a container, covering with water at a ratio of roughly 1 part plant material to 2 parts water. This mixture needs to ferment for about 2 to 3 weeks, creating a rather aromatic brew that's rich in the nutrients the weeds originally extracted from your soil. The fermentation process can produce quite a pungent odor, so, consider locating your brewing container away from living areas. Adding a handful of straw or brown leaves can help balance the fermentation and reduce smell. The finished weed tea should be strained and diluted to a light amber color before application. After 8 weeks of consistent application, the differences between our test beds are striking and tell a compelling story about each tea's unique strengths. The compost tea bed shows the most impressive overall plant health, with deep green foliage, strong root systems, and remarkable disease resistance. The tomato plants in this bed developed thick, sturdy stems and showed no signs of common fungal issues that plagued other areas of the garden. The manure tea bed delivered explosive growth, especially in leafy vegetables. The lettuce plants grew nearly twice as large as the control group, with vibrant green leaves and really rapid development. However, some plants showed signs of soft growth that made them more susceptible to pest damage, which kinda shows that while nitrogen promotes growth, balanced nutrition actually creates stronger plants. The weed tea bed produced moderate but consistent improvements, with plants showing steady growth and good color. Interestingly, these plants seem to have enhanced pest resistance, possibly due to natural compounds extracted from the weeds during fermentation. While growth wasn't as dramatic as the other teas, the overall plant health stayed excellent throughout the trial period. Compost tea's primary benefit lies not just in its nutrient content but in its ability to improve soil structure and biological activity. The diverse community of microorganisms introduced through properly brewed compost tea creates a living soil environment that can continue working long after application. These beneficial microbes form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, improving nutrient uptake and providing natural disease protection. The long-term benefits of compost tea extend far beyond immediate plant nutrition. Regular applications can improve soil drainage in heavy clay soils while increasing water retention in sandy soils. This dual action creates optimal growing conditions for a wide range of plants while reducing the need for synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. Manure tea excels as a quick-acting nitrogen source that can rapidly green up plants and promote vigorous growth. This makes it particularly valuable for leafy vegetables, herbs, and any plants that benefit from extra nitrogen during their growing season. The readily available nutrients in manure tea can provide almost immediate results, making it an excellent choice for correcting nutrient deficiencies. However, manure tea's strength can also be its weakness. The high nitrogen content can promote soft, succulent growth that's more attractive to pests and more susceptible to disease. Additionally, excessive nitrogen can delay flowering and fruiting in some plants, so timing and dilution are really crucial for optimal results. Weed tea offers a more balanced nutritional profile because it's derived from plants that have already extracted and concentrated nutrients from your soil. This creates a fertilizer that's naturally suited to your garden's specific conditions and nutrient needs. Many weeds are dynamic accumulators, meaning they can access nutrients from deep in the soil profile and make them available to shallow-rooted crops. The additional benefit of weed tea lies in its potential pest deterrent properties. Many weeds produce natural compounds that can help repel insects or discourage fungal growth. While these effects are less predictable than commercial pesticides, they represent an additional layer of plant protection that synthetic fertilizers cannot provide. After careful observation and analysis, declaring a single winner in this tea competition would be missing the point entirely. Each tea serves a specific purpose in the garden ecosystem, and the real victory comes from understanding when and how to use each one effectively. For overall soil health and long-term garden sustainability, compost tea emerges as the foundation of any serious gardening program. Its ability to improve soil structure, introduce beneficial microorganisms, and provide slow-release nutrition makes it invaluable for building healthy garden ecosystems that can thrive with minimal inputs. Manure tea proves itself as the champion of quick results and vigorous growth, making it perfect for jump-starting sluggish plants or providing extra nutrition during peak growing periods. However, its power requires respect and proper dilution to avoid overwhelming plants with too much of a good thing. Weed tea represents the ultimate in sustainable gardening, transforming garden waste into valuable nutrition while potentially providing pest protection. While its effects may be more subtle than the other teas, its environmental benefits and cost-effectiveness make it a valuable addition to any gardener's toolkit. The most successful gardeners will likely incorporate all three teas into their routine, using compost tea as a regular soil health treatment, manure tea for boosting growth during critical periods, and weed tea as a sustainable way to recycle garden waste while providing supplemental nutrition. Remember to subscribe to Smart Garden for more in-depth gardening experiments and practical growing advice. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who could benefit from homemade plant nutrition, and let us know in the comments which tea you're most excited to try in your own garden. Your plants will thank you for the upgrade to homemade nutrition.